Oh shit.
We got local folks.
Taco Loco?
Yo, yo.
Yo, what am
What's
I?
up? Oh, shit,
Hey, I
that's
like your
fucking loud.
picture, bro.
Yeah, bro. I heard you say that was from Friday. What's
Yes,
up, y'all?
sir.
Yes, sir.
That shit's legendary, dog.
I be trolling people saying that's actually me. But yeah. Sorry if it sounds like I'm in a fucking cave. I'm driving right now.
All right,
Hey,
good.
man, drive safe,
That's good.
bro.
Yeah, drive safe.
Hey, fucking. Before we get started, first things first. Let me just say that I thought about it some, and honestly, I have no reason to dislike you, Jay. So when 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 the first time we only ever had like one altercation, and I just
Yeah.
assumed you were a dickhead like Batman. But after talking to a few people, after seeing what they had to say, after just like thinking about it, some like I said, like I honestly have no reason to dislike you. So as of right now, if you're willing to, I hope we can just bury the hatchet and then we can get started because I have a few more questions.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Loco
for
right
sure.
here?
I appreciate that. Yeah, for sure. I never had a problem with you either. So, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, yeah. I just had like a misconception about that. That was my bad for assuming.
Hey,
No,
man,
you're good. Yeah, yeah,
we
it's all
just like
good.
Naruto, bro. We just have good conversations about it.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
hope that,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
yeah,
it's like it's just Naruto. Like it's not that serious type shit.
facts, bro.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
Yeah, I respect
exactly,
that
bro.
though for saying that. Yeah, for sure. It's all good. I never really had a problem anyway. So,
Hey, did Noodles ever hop on here or not?
nah, I
Nah,
don't think he's
bro.
gonna make it. He
He's
said he might, but
he's
I don't think
ducking,
so.
bro. He doesn't want the smoke.
I was trying to, no, truthfully, I was trying to bury Hatchet with him, but I don't know. Maybe he's busy or something. I don't
I'm
know.
kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably
So
won't make it. I'm guessing.
yeah, probably. Fucking fucking. He was. Did you see the fucking trailer about him versus Swag? God
Swag,
damn.
yeah,
I'm so
Wait, there's
glad I
that's
a
gonna
watched
be
that shit.
interesting.
trailer? Oh my
That
gosh,
topic's actually interesting though. It's not a bad topic. So
that's
Yeah, he
hilarious.
made a trailer. It's like the safest fucking topic though.
it
It's
is.
like
It's goaded,
that's
man.
that.
It's safe because you can't really either side that wins. You don't really blame the other for losing in a way because it's like a contentious topic. So I kind of get it. Yeah,
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
yeah.
He
Do you
chose
have
sick
any?
Itachi. So it's like definitely
Yeah,
like
that a little bit more contentious. Yeah, because he's sick. So it's not like prime.
Yeah, that one should be obvious. I feel like to most people, like it's not even fair. Like, yeah,
Yeah, you take the harder stance to give him credit. Cornoodles took the harder stance with the sick Itachi, but yeah.
damn, he has Seiki top. I thought it was okay. Wow, that's even yeah. That's okay. That sounds like Noodles would do that. Hey, man,
Yeah,
we'll see how it
he still
goes.
has a.
You know,
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
hey brother,
do
we
you
see
have
how
any things? Any things you wanted to talk about? Like any
yeah, yeah.
scaling?
See, as a matter of fact, I remember like the first time, like I ever saw any of your content was that Tobirama video. So I wanted to talk about
Uh,
that.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, what was your thoughts
So
on it?
it has been a while. So let me know if I'm like oversimplifying your argument or anything. But the way I remember it was
Yeah.
you you said that you said Tobirama's feats against Jubito weren't impressive because he was like mental or unstable Jubito because he was like mentally nerfed at certain points. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, I've built on top of my argument since then, but yeah, what's your thoughts on that before we get to the other stuff?
So I don't know if you read the comment that I dropped on there, but now I can actually voice it better. So it's like
Yeah.
your justification for that was because he was thinking about Minato or what was that?
Yeah, Minato, Naruto, like being a parallel of what
Naruto.
he would have been.
Yeah,
The Ten Tails itself fighting his control, which is displayed observably as well later on. So, yeah, I have more
But
to
this is
add, but I
unstable.
wanted to see what you say first. Yeah,
This is just unstable Jubito, right?
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, even
All
stable,
right.
he started. He's having mental doubts as well, but especially unstable because that's when he was specifically fighting off like Ten Tail control. But yeah,
Okay. So all right. So I can't remember if you said this in the video. So I'm like, this is a genuine question. What was your
yeah.
justification for him not just being for him being mentally nerfed specifically in the instances against Tobirama and not just like the entire time he was unstable?
What was the question? Why was he only mentally enough there? Is that what you're asking?
Like against Tobirama, because if I remember correctly, you said he was like there were intervals to his power, like high and low and high and low, and
Yeah, yeah,
apparently
yeah.
the one time that he interacted with Tobirama was a low point. So why was it specifically against Tobirama? Did he have like a low point? Was he mentally nerfed specifically then, and not just like the entire time he was unstable?
I would say the fight that he had within his mind can't be like observed, obviously, like the mental struggle. So it's volatile. It's random in nature. You can't really substantiate why it's high at one point and low at the other. It's a volatile in nature type of like influx of power. The
Yeah.
points where he's yeah.
Also,
All
like
right.
just
Kind of like
one
the
like
stock market. You can't really like, you can't really predict or kind of deduce why it's at where it's at. It is just volatile in nature.
like Hashirama literally said that like Jubito is stronger than him, and as we know, Hashirama is the stronger of the two brothers, like narratively, empirically with Madara, etc. Right? So it's like if he's mentally unstable, that gives more rationalization or credence as to why he can be on par as someone as Tobirama. But if he is mentally coherent and all there, then obviously he wouldn't be on that par with Tobirama because, as Hashirama said, yo, this guy's stronger than even me. So it just makes sense that at that point, considering how weak he was mentally unstable. You know.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So I'm not. We're talking about only unstable Jubito here, right? We're not talking about like after he regains consciousness, right? This
Correct.
is
Yeah, I would say he's definitely stronger there. I do think there's like volatility because of like what he's going through. I think he's still fighting off the ten tails to be honest, but unstable. He's certainly having a very extreme time dealing with it. Like he can barely control his body, let alone like winning a fight. So
all
Exactly.
right. So my biggest contention with that would be that so like I said, we're gonna like set up like a chain of events here from
yeah,
what I remember you saying and from what I'm gathering right now. So first of
yeah,
all, in your words, Tobirama wouldn't scale to unstable Jubito because Jubito is mentally volatile, and the
yeah.
reason
His
why
power
he's
level, yeah,
mentally volatile, yeah, the reason why he's mentally volatile is because, like you said, you think about Naruto, Minato, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And your justification for him being mentally volatile at that exact point in time when he encountered Tobirama was just because Tobirama's ass, he can't scale to Hashirama. So that's why I'm seeing like a circular argument here. So it's like your justification for Tobirama not scaling to unstable Jubito is because unstable Jubito has to be so much stronger than Tobirama that Tobirama wouldn't be able to scale to him. So it's just like a circular chain to me.
No, I'm talking about stable Jubito would be stronger than Tobirama. Unstable would be because he's mentally incoherent. Like Chakra
Oh,
is
perfect.
mental.
Perfect. Let's go. So we're gaining ground here. So
Let me
we
just
agree
let
that
me just finish. Let me just finish real quick, right? So like Chakra is mental, physical, spiritual. So it's like if you're mentally unstable, then that goes in accordance with like your physical capabilities. Like I said with Hashirama, like if he's stronger than the brother that is stronger than Tobirama, then there has to be some rationalization as to why Tobirama is on par with them. And that's why we're talking about his unstableness being a precursor towards his actions. So yeah, go ahead.
okay. So first things first. Do you think Tobirama is as fast as KCM1 Naruto?
No, not at all.
Okay. So next question. Do you think unstable Jubito, like when he first emerges, is as strong as fat Jubito?
As
as
strong
fat
as
Jubito.
fat Jubito?
Yeah, you remember when he turns into like this big balloon and then like yeah, he gets all fat. He's still unstable at that point in time. You
Well,
I
remember
would
that?
say he's still
mental.
superior because he doesn't have control at that point. Like even less control than he already had.
It's also like
So
physical inhibition compared to mental inhibition. It's kind of like a weird equivalence there, you know. Yeah,
so they'd be about the same, if not unstable Jubito being slightly stronger or some unquantifiable amount stronger than fat Jubito, right?
it's
I mean,
arbitrary.
he's still unstable too when he's fat, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
physically
So
unstable.
so
Yeah.
what about the time when fat Jubito like blitzed MKCM Naruto and EMS Sasuke and
When
they
Fat
couldn't
Jubito
react?
did so,
Yes.
again, volatile nature of his power, he just had a spike in his power. He was able to do that.
Oh, but didn't we already establish that that was a circular argument? Because
No, you
especially in
established that.
Tobirama's.
I didn't
Yeah.
recognize and
No one
acknowledge it.
agreed
You
with
established
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I established, excuse me, I established that Tobirama was like your logic for Tobirama not scaling to Jubito was the volatility of that of unstable Jubito's nature, and the reason why he was specifically on a low point against Tobirama was because Tobirama's ass and he can't scale to Jubito. That's basically the circular chain that we're talking about here. So
Explain
if
how it's
that's the case,
circular. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I don't see how it's circular. It goes from A to B. There's a beginning and a conclusion. There's no circular arguments here.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
no, it's ABC actually because like we said,
It's
the
still
starting
not
point.
circular. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Starting
not
point.
circular.
No, it wraps around. It wraps around. So
Explain.
if we're okay, I'm about to. So Tobirama cannot scale to unstable Jubito, right? According to you, because B, Jubito is volatile due to Naruto, Minato, whatever. And C, the reason why he wasn't just mentally nerfed the entire time, just like a blanket over the entire event, and specifically, what do you call it? Specifically volatile or nerfed in the time when he encountered Tobirama was because Tobirama's ass and he can't scale to him. So you're basically saying Tobirama can't scale to Jubito because Tobirama's ass.
Well, basically, like you would have to argue that like his mental condition is synonymous with the mental condition he had with Tobirama. So the Jubito who fought against Naruto and Sasuke, you're claiming his unstable condition is synonymous to the one that fought Tobirama. How are you
I'm
able to
saying there
like?
really isn't an unstable condition. If anything, fat Jubito would actually be weaker than unstable Jubito just because he's even more unstable.
I mean, like I said, it's physically unstable versus mentally unstable. There's a difference in correlation there. And again, you're trying to provide credence towards the stability and his mental state versus Naruto and Sasuke being the same versus his state versus Tobirama, which you really can't do because
Yeah, and just
his
because he's
mind.
fat doesn't mean he's less
I
powerful
established that
than.
that was a circular argument already. So like
I
that
don't see
wouldn't
how
really
that's a
make
circular argument. How does C lead back to A?
Yeah,
because so C would lead back to A because let's start at C. Tobirama is ass, so he cannot scale to Jubito. That's why there was a low point. So the A would be Tobirama doesn't scale to Jubito. So it starts off in the same place. So it's not a very good argument.
Yeah,
not
that
really,
doesn't really
not
make
really.
sense.
My
That doesn't make
I wish I
beginning.
sense.
could draw it out. I wish I could draw it out. I'm not like I'm more of a visual person, but
No, you're good. Yeah, like I'm trying to tell you, man. Like, look, the reason why. Okay, so you're well, like in your words, Tobirama is ass and does not scale Jubito. That's our A, right? My C is the explanation as to why A is proven. It's because of the statements from Hashirama, the fucking empirical evidence on Tobirama's death,
Yeah, it's not
the
circular.
the caliber of Jubito. This is the
forgetting that
conclusion.
Hashirama. Aren't we forgetting that Hashirama actually fucking couldn't react to that, and he got cut in half just like Tobirama did? I'm kind of confused here.
Yeah, they're both inferior. They're both inferior to him. That doesn't
Yeah,
negate that
that doesn't negate
Tobirama's
anything.
inferior to Hashirama.
But
It
Tobirama
doesn't
can
negate
react,
that.
can he? Yeah,
To
if Tobirama can
unstable.
react,
Okay,
I'm
prove
not.
that how he reacted. Prove how he
I'm
physically
not.
reacted to.
First, I'm gonna talk to SHAWNOBI. Yes, I'm not claiming Tobirama scales to stable Jubito. All right, I'm not claiming that at all. We're just establishing unstable for right now. And what'd you say, Jay?
Prove how he physically reacted to Tobirama.
You
I
mean
mean,
the other
excuse
way
me, to
around?
Jubito. Sorry. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay, so as we're aware of, in the instance when Jubito bum rushes or unstable Jubito, excuse me, when he bum rushes Hashirama and Tobirama, Hashirama gets cut in half and doesn't do jack shit. But Tobirama slaps 410 and paper bombs and a flying thunder god marker on him. So if
So he
that's the
did that all.
case,
Yeah.
huh?
Did he do that
Go
all
ahead.
manually? Did he manually place them?
Yes,
Prove
I
that.
disagree.
because the FTG seal requires physical contact, so we would have had to have touched
No,
him.
the tandem paper bombs don't. Prove that he put those on manually.
All that matters is that he was able to actually react to and at least place the FTG marker on him because that requires physical touch. So for Tobirama to have placed it on his back, mind you, not his chest or anything, where he would have just ran into it, Tobirama would have to have turned
No, it was
around.
actually on his armpit. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it
on
was
his back.
armpit. Yeah,
So he
Nah,
did run
hold
into
on,
it.
was it on his armpit?
it was. It
Yeah.
was for sure,
It was on
definitely,
his left armpit where his hand would have been. So he kind of blitzed his
100%.
way into the hand. Yeah.
And he
have
had
to
the
up right
jutsu prepped ahead of time as well. You know,
And on top of that,
even
yeah, Tobirama, as far as the 10 paper bombs, he says that that was one of his ancillary jutsus that he'd use with Edos. So implying that they weren't manually placed, they were
now.
attacks that
Those
Edos
weren't
would use.
paper bombs, brother. Those weren't Tana paper
But
bombs.
paper bombs are synonymous. They're all paper bombs that he used.
he
Right
actually
I'm
after
just
he
throw
used
units
that attack,
before. Yeah.
yeah,
because you
right
said
after he used that
paper
attack,
bomb. That happens a little bit later.
right,
He uses Tana paper bombs later. Now, I'm trying to look for the seal though. I don't remember it being on his armpit. It's on his.
yeah, it
It's
was.
on his left armpit though, right? On his left armpit.
Yeah, that's where his hand would be because he's like his hand would be across there. Yeah.
Which would make sense because he's running into the two of them while trying to attack. So it's like he's leaving some areas of his body exposed while he's going directly into Tobirama and Hashirama. Meanwhile, Tobirama is prepared with the ancillary jutsu like the Edo Tensei, Tandem
Yeah,
Paper
these were
Bomb
already
jutsu.
pre-prepared. That's an ability where if you get attackers inflicted upon you, paper bombs scatter.
Yeah, they
That's basically what
scatter.
happened.
Yeah, there's no like real like direction as to where they go, but they go
All
towards
right.
like where they're supposed to, and that's what
And it
happened when
shows
they were
at
hit.
random locations. Like there's a paper bomb on his
His
arm,
leg.
paper bomb on his rib, on his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just
So
means
they're
he could
very
have
randomly
tagged him.
placed.
That just means he
Prove
could have
that.
tagged him in different pieces. But as for the FTG seal, uh, for you do realize for him to actually place that on Jubito, he has to react to him, right? He's not just
You just
going
have to.
around like
No,
If he
he just
placed it
has to
on him
activate
though.
it. His perception has to be sufficient. He doesn't have to physically react to him.
he's reacting, isn't he? Perceiving him and placing the mark is a reaction feat.
Yeah, perception.
It's like
It
Minato.
wasn't a physical
It's like
reaction.
it's like Minato teleporting in between the True Secret orbs. It's
He
like the
doesn't
same thing.
move at all.
Minato doesn't move. Yeah.
No, I'm saying when Jubito blitzed into him, he didn't move. His hand was already in that location. All he did was activate the seal. He didn't physically move at all, though. His
So
neurotransmitters fired in time to put the marking on his armpit, and then the other paper bombs scattered randomly when he was hit. He
if
didn't manually place those.
that's the case, and Jubito is reaching out like we see him reaching out, then Tobirama would have to have placed it with his left arm, covering a greater distance because his right arm would have already been cut off.
No, he could have just placed it before his arm exploded.
So then that would
It
mean he's
doesn't have to be
outspeeding
his
Jubito.
left arm. And also
Or
the similar trajectory, that these guys are sent in after getting hit implies neither one was able to react. They're literally going in the same trajectory. One's going left, one going right. So he didn't have. If he would have brought his other hand all the way to his left armpit, he would have been sent in a different trajectory. That also implies that
So
he physically did not react to Jubito.
if that were the case, then no, because the True Secret orbs are out in front of Jubito. He would have had to have either reacted to him before he was hit by Jubito or afterwards, covering a greater distance with his left arm. So I
Yeah,
can
the
send you this.
trajectory negates that premise, though. He's going in the same trajectory as Hashirama. If his hand was all the way over there, his other hand, which is on the other side of his body, he wouldn't
Why
be
couldn't
sent
he
in a
just be
similar
pushed back?
trajectory.
Why
What'd
couldn't
you
he
say?
just be pushed back? He could have just been like pushed back by the force of
Yeah, and the
fucking
trajectory would have been different because his body's in a different position than Hashirama. Like you said, Hashirama didn't move at all and react for shit. And why is Tobirama being set in the same trajectory if he moved in
So
that manner that you're theorizing?
Hashirama can't even like bother to react in time. Like there's nothing to prove that he's being that he's moving. He doesn't activate any type of jutsu like Tobirama does. So if that would be the case,
He
then that
doesn't
would be
have
going
any
to no.
type of jutsu like that, though. That's the point. He doesn't have a flying thunder god. What would he do?
Well, there's no indication that like there's no exclamation point. There's nothing that would prove that Hashirama actually reacted, unlike Tobirama, who we've already proved can react to that shit. So if that's the
Perception.
case,
He can perceive him, but he can't physically react, which I just proved via
yeah,
trajectory
like
and via
it's
rationalization.
also it's like the whole engagement wasn't really like on manga panel. It was kind of like off screen for the most part. Like it wasn't empirically shown exactly how the tags were put on. So we're left to presuppose a couple possibilities. One, which is what you're proposing, or two, which is what we're saying, is that he had Silver Jutsu prepared ahead of time. He ran into the direction of Tobirama and Hashirama, and arbitrarily these tags and seal were put on him because he literally ran into the guy. So you have to prove that this possibility is not as plausible as yours, which is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah, you have to prove that regardless of similar trajectory, he was able to do all these manual things that you theorize, which is
so
negated by the very trajectory.
all I need to do is I've actually already done it. So your claim originally RC, going back to RC, was that Hashirama couldn't react and he's superior to Tobirama. So if Hashirama couldn't react in any way, form, or fashion, which he's never shown to do, there's no exclamation point, nothing to prove that he reacted. Then Tobirama, who actually did react, would be greater than Hashirama in speed, which
Yeah, he perceived him.
Again, like, yeah, he might
prove that he perceived him.
The marking. that's the proof.
Oh,
What do you mean?
Sorry, I thought you meant Hashirama.
No. Hashirama could still perceive him, but what would he do if he can't move in time to do anything? He has no flying thunder gun markings. He doesn't have anything like that.
How
Plus,
would you
was he
prove that
even
he
in
was?
stage mode to begin with? I mean, I think it was in base, right?
Yeah,
Which
he's a
kind of like
base.
inhibits his, but yeah, nonetheless, yeah.
So
Okay,
you know you can
that's
perceive someone without physically being able to react, right? It's kind of like when Kakazu turned around and saw a Rasen Shuriken coming his way. He perceived it, but he couldn't move out of the way in time. Kind of what happened here.
Unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to prove that Hashirama perceived him. There's nothing on panel that would prove that, but Tobirama definitely did, and we already established that.
Tobirama perceiving it proves it because Hashirama's above Tobirama.
And they're looking at the same person. Like, why wouldn't he have perceived him?
That's the proof. All proof I need. There's empirical evidence to suggest Hashirama's above Tobirama, which means the most rational assumption is that Hashirama as well perceived him, but like Tobirama, he just couldn't physically react. It's the most rational conclusion to come to.
Faster than Tobirama, especially when there's a statement that claims otherwise.
No, they says he used to boast the greatest speed, and that's in reference to the flying thunder god, not his physical combat speed.
Just being braggadocious.
Boast means to take pride in something you have. I've already looked up the definition. I have it up on my phone right now.
You can have pride in something.
And that's also negated by one Renegon Madara reacting to Tobirama as well. So it negates that he was the fastest of his time.
He was the fastest. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was the fastest. So that would mean that.
And he's implying that implies that when he was in his prime, Madara was barely approaching his past power when he reacted to as an Edo to Edo Tobirama.
That could refer to MS Madara at times, like Warren states, like when like Tobirama beat Izuna. It's like cool, you may be faster at that certain point, but like obviously
why would you refer to that time and not the most recent version of Tobirama that Madara knows, which would be before he left the village?
What'd you say?
He's saying you previously boasted to be the fastest shinobi. He's not really like specifying.
He never says previously, sir. He never says that, my boy.
Oh, he said you boasted to be meaning past
past
from
tense.
his recollection, from his knowledge.
Boast the fastest speed of any shinobi. So boast means to hold on. Let me pull up the definition straight from Oxford.
I know what boast means, man. We know what boast.
Either way, the very fact that he dodged him and he's relative to his prime self with the one-eyed Renegon proves that Tobirama's inferior anyway. So that statement is It's him talking down upon Tobirama. It doesn't matter if he said that.
And at what point at time is Madara referring to that statement exactly? Like
statements are overridden by feats all the time.
No, but let me prove what
explain why not.
Let me prove what you're claiming earlier. So you claim that this revived Madara is like barely stronger. He probably, you said he really isn't stronger than EMS Madara, right?
Yes.
All right, so you do realize that he has Hashirama Cell, Sage Mode, and the Renegon, which are all stated to buff physical stats.
You know Hashirama said he was barely regaining his past power with Sage Mode, right? That's when he first started saying it. He wasn't even.
That was before he got the Renegon. That was before
he was blind. Yeah, he was blind. Yeah, I know, I'm aware.
Yeah, so
what about
the Renegon, Sage Mode, and Hashirama cells are all stated to buff your physical capabilities. And I can provide the scans for that.
I'm not trying to see where you're leading with this exactly. I mean, back to Tobirama per se.
If that's the case, then this version of Madara would scale above EMS Madara because obviously EMS Madara doesn't have Renegon, Sage Mode, or Hashirama cells. So this revived Madara with the Renegon would be the strongest version of Madara, or physically the strongest. I'm not trying to get into like who would win between the versions, but like physically the strongest and the fastest version of Madara we've seen due to having the buffs that no other version would have, especially since it doesn't have that anymore.
What about it?
Yeah. If that's the case, you guys claim that if this version of Madara can react to Tobirama, then Hashirama would be able to too, because you guys claim that they were relative or whatever. But obviously, this version of revived Madara is significantly stronger than EMS Madara, who was relative to Prime Hashirama.
Prove is a significant difference.
Sure. So Sage Mode is a perception amp as well, but let me find the Hashirama cell scans.
Let's see.
Yeah, I understand that again. I'm stronger, but his question is to like what degree, though, per se, and
Yeah. Either way, it's kind of a red herring that I'm entertaining because it just still doesn't
it
disprove
doesn't
that
prove
Tobirama.
anything with
It
Tobirama,
doesn't
though.
it doesn't disprove Tobirama not being able to react to Jubito, and
No,
Yeah,
Hashirama still perceiving him.
no, I'm just addressing one of your claims when you said that like that version of Revive Madara is like weaker than fucking EMS Madara, who's relative to Hashirama, and that's why you said that Hashirama would be able to react to Tobirama based off this.
This
That's what
doesn't
I'm trying
negate
to do.
that doesn't negate my original premise though.
it is a
Even
red
if you do
herring,
negate
though.
that.
Yeah.
And I did, but what was your original premise?
No, you didn't. Hashirama is still superior to Tobirama, and Tobirama was. So we saw what happened with
Oh,
Jubito.
yeah, we were talking about the statement. So I posted the definitions for boast in your chat
Oh
already.
gosh, we don't need a definition for both, bro. You
Yeah,
serious?
we all know what that means, but
Come on, man.
So if you know what it means, then it means to like have pride in a possession of yours, in an achievement. To talk with excessive pride and self-satisfaction about
observably,
something.
Tobirama is literally watching in awe while his brother fights Madara. He didn't. If
So
he was
what if?
faster, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he intervene at that point? Explain that.
Yeah. So what if he's
So
prideful? How does that explain its validity, though? How does it prove anything? Like that's
prideful in something you have, brother. Prideful in something you have.
you can have pride in
Again,
wrong places, and
it's
doesn't mean
negated
you're
by the fact that
prideful.
Tobirama can't
I'm not,
contend with when they're all alive. He can't contend with Hashirama or Madara.
my
That's
brother in
observably
Christ.
shown.
I never claimed that Tobirama was stronger than Hashirama or Madara.
Okay,
Blatant. That'd be blatantly
and he
false.
lacks
But
the
he's
speed to
definitely
do anything as well. Because why wouldn't he rationally help his brother when he's fighting Madara if he had speed superior to them?
provably he's faster though. So he definitely is faster based off the
Not
statement that I
provably. He didn't prove that.
Yeah, you can't prove it,
and
man.
actually Edo Tobirama performs better against Jubito. Hashirama couldn't even react. There's nothing to prove Hashirama reacted, but Tobirama
Yeah,
did.
him being
So in that
above his brother proves that. You don't have. That's an appeal to ignorance. The most
so you
rational
no
assumption is that he perceived it as well. That's an appeal to ignorance. That doesn't negate that. The probability
I
of that claim.
that Rama is faster, and if that's the case, then your C is basically irrelevant now. So that proves that it is a circular argument.
It's not circular. You haven't
No,
negated anything I said.
the problem with your argument is like it really stems from that statement, right? And again, like the statement is based off of being boastful or prideful, which doesn't explain its validity, and it doesn't explain at what point Mater is referring to that statement was made. So there's two inconsistencies with that statement. Number one. Number two, narratively, it's been emphasized multiple times that Hashirama is the stronger out of the two brothers, which, like Jay said, is because he was the one who had to fight Mater at the end of the day. Um,
Sure,
so
sure.
I don't,
And
yeah. So if Hashirama makes that statement about Jubito and he's stronger out of the two of them, then that negates all this weird inconspicuous scaling that you're trying to provide
no,
right
no,
now.
no.
Just
You're trying to equate strength and like strongness, I guess, like to being overall, which is just not the case. When
That's
I've already
synonymous though.
proved
It's usually
that
synonymous. If you're
Tobirama.
superior caliber shinobi, you're usually faster as well.
I'm replying to
It'd be
SHAWNOBI
yeah,
right
but
now.
it'd be an
So
oxymoron to say, "Oh, I'm stronger than you, but you're faster than me, so I could beat you." That's an oxymoron.
why
So
is that?
it's easy. The most rational assumption is that if you're able to defeat your opponent in battle in the Naruto verse, you're usually faster than them. That's just the most
Well,
rational assumption to come to.
you guys already conceded that you know the definition of boast. So in that case, that would just prove that Madara, who knows Hashirama, already admitted
Statement was just
inferiority. I'm
yeah, but
Tobirama.
that's your own presupposition of interpretation. He's talking down upon Tobirama as if like, yeah, you thought you were something, like you
let me
have
He
ask
pride in
already
you.
that,
pulled
but
out
you're
the
inferior.
Let me ask
he
you one
already
question
pulled
real
out the
quick, bro.
That doesn't
definitions.
prove anything. The
When
statement
did
doesn't
So
override states.
when was the last time Madara fought with against Tobirama or like saw him in battle? Probably the
oh,
Warring
actually,
States, right?
I'm so glad you asked this. I'm so glad you asked this. The last time Madara saw Tobirama was right before he left the hidden leaf village. So
So
definitely
Warring
he's talking
States.
about prime. Huh?
So
No, no,
Warring
no, no.
States.
Right before he left the Leaf Village to go find Kurama and fight Hashirama. So that is prime Hashirama and Madara.
Okay, so he might have saw him, but it's not answering my question. Like, when did you see him in like in a real like combative situation though, to really exploit his like knowledge of Tobirama at his full capacity? You know what I mean?
I guess the last time he saw him fight like on screen was when he killed Izuna, and
Th-
immediately after that
Thank
they
you,
formed the village.
thank
Immediately
you.
after that they formed the village.
So Warring States period. So that's probably what he's referring to with that statement. Like
No,
he
no, no, no,
used to.
no. All that I could make an equal interpretation that would just prove that Warring States Tobirama is greater than Prime Hashirama and Madara because that's a last like That's the last time Madara
That's
saw
negated by
Tobirama
the fact that
and
he
still thinks that
he's been
Tobirama is faster than Prime Hashirama and Madara. That's
he's
crazy. I
wrong.
never
I
thought
mean, the fact that he didn't intervene in that fight proves he's not. It's just
he's wrong.
incorrect.
Madara's just wrong. Madara's just wrong.
Yeah, feats override statements.
Oh my god.
So it doesn't matter if
This
you
is really
bring up a statement. If I bring up a feat that negates
okay.
that statement, the statement's just incorrect. Or he's just talking down upon him. He's like mocking him after he slammed
But
him.
we
So
already proved that by the
always
definitions.
I already
so
did by the
far
fact
is
that there's
that
feats that imply otherwise.
So if next, wait, what was I going to talk about? Hold on. Oh yeah. So you're talking about statements over feats, and I already provided a feat that would
Feats over
prove that
statements.
Hashirama did not react to Jubito, where Tobirama did, provably
He
because
could
he
still
placed the
perceive him.
FTG.
He didn't react. He didn't physically react to him. He perceived him.
No, because he would have either had to have tagged Jubito before he got hit with the Juicy Orb, because Jubito was holding the things out in front of him, right? So he would have either had to have tagged him before he got hit with the Juicy Orb, which means he's faster than Jubito, by the way, or
No, he
afterwards,
just
in
perceived
which he'd
him.
have
It's not correct.
arm around and cover a larger amount of distance. So if that's the case, Tobirama is just provably faster than Hashirama. You have your feet, you
No,
have your
that's
statements.
incorrect. You can perceive someone and still be slower than them physically. That's not correct.
But we already. Oh wait, you're talking about Jubito and Tobirama, but like,
Yep.
yeah. So that would just prove blatant relativity because Tobirama is
That
actually
doesn't
able
prove
to
blatant
react to
relativity. That's not correct.
tag Jubito, where
That doesn't
Hashirama
prove
couldn't.
that doesn't prove blatant relativity. No, it doesn't.
No,
Just
no.
because you can perceive something doesn't mean you're relative in speed to it.
What I'm talking about here is Hashirama couldn't actually do anything. He couldn't do
yeah,
He
jack
doesn't
shit.
have anything to
he
mark him
doesn't
with.
have anything to do. That's our
That
exact
doesn't
point
negate
right
that
now.
statement. You're presupposing
all
that.
all you're proving right now. All you're
Hashirama's so much faster than Tobirama, then like why couldn't he react? Why couldn't he do something? But Tobirama did.
Because he's
Tobirama's
slower
like,
than Jubito.
What does he
Those
have
aren't
in his
mutually exclusive.
arsenal to
Jubito's the
do?
fastest out of those three people, then Hashirama, and then Tobirama. The gap between Hashirama and Tobirama was significant between them and Jubito. And Hashirama doesn't happen to have an ability where all he has to do is perceive and mark you. That's all Tobirama needs to put a Flying Thunder God marking. He doesn't need to physically
but if
react to you. So it doesn't negate anything. And you saying that he doesn't perceive him is an appeal to ignorance, which is negated by the fact that when they're alive, Hashirama and Madara are the superiors to him. And usually when you're superior, you're faster than that individual in question. So no, you didn't negate anything I said.
that's not,
And you
but
didn't prove that
obviously
he didn't perceive it. You didn't prove that. You're just presupposing that, and it has to be a
there's
contradiction. I
nothing
proved that wrong. So you're
there's
incorrect.
nothing in panel that would prove that. Show me the panel
What?
in which he reacts. Show me the panel in which Hashirama
Again,
reacts
appeal
to
to
Jubito.
ignorance. Appeal to ignorance.
Oh,
Hashirama doesn't have anything in his
okay.
arsenal to do
Apparently,
against.
Perception is invisible. He wasn't able to. That's an appeal to ignorance. You can't prove it.
I'm
It's more likely. The most likely assumption is that he perceived it because he is superior to his brother. He doesn't
but
have anything to
obviously
mark him with.
I proved that that's not the case with the statement beforehand, which would just back up my interpretation. In which your side doesn't really have all that much. You're just saying Hashirama and Madara are just
I have
so much
empirical
stronger.
feats. You haven't substantiated anything with feats at all. You're using statements that are contradicted by by feats themselves. I have more than you
Obviously
do
not.
with my argument.
Show me a feat in which Hashirama outspeeds Tobirama.
Show you they're fighting and Tobirama stands there like watching Nodder and Hashirama and all. He can't do
Clearly,
nothing
he
about it because he's
knows.
inferior.
Why does that mean
He
slower?
knows
Why
there's
does that mean?
no panel like that.
Because if he was faster, why
Why
wouldn't he help his brother out? That's the most rational assumption, is that he's
why
Yeah,
inferior
like
in many
intervene,
facets,
use
including
flying
speed.
rising, something like that.
he could
He
just
could be
be
a
like,
great
damn,
asset
that's
if
the
he
full
was faster.
Susanoo. Oh my god, that's the full QB. Oh, I'm fucked. I'm not touching that shit. So it's like he could just be in awe of their power, not their actual speed. That doesn't actually prove anything. That's not a
The
feat.
Yeah, it
flying
It's
does
not
prove it. Because
rising,
if he has the speed advantage, then he would obviously help his brother. That's the
yeah,
most
with the
rational assumption
flying
to come to.
rising, absolutely he would. It'd be a
he might just
huge
not have anything
asset.
that could. He might just not have anything that could damage water, and if that's the case, then it's perfectly rational for him to just sit off on the side. That's not an anti-feat for Tobirama. That's
If you're
I
a
guess that would be.
speedster,
That is an anti-feat.
if you're a
It is an
speedster, it's not
anti-feat.
about AP though. Like that's the point though. Like if you're trying to be an asset, be an
Big
asset with
ass
your
Susanoo.
speed.
It's a big ass Susanoo.
He has paper bombs. He has the Bringer of Darkness, which isn't a physical
Dude, do you
attack, but
think
it could blind
Tobirama
him.
cares
He does
about
have things
that?
in his arsenal that will help if
Madara's
he was
killed
fast
his
enough.
brethren for like years, dude. You think he cares about a Susanoo? That guy's out for blood, bro. Like he couldn't do anything because he couldn't do
The Flying
anything.
Thunder God would literally allow him to go inside of the Susanoo if he were fast enough to
He
physically
could
blitz Madara.
teleport so much with
The
that.
mark
Yeah.
on Madara, proving it's the mark on Madara though. So why would he be able to get inside the Susanoo?
You could throw a Kunai in there and just get in there.
So obviously that's just not the case because we see
Yeah, because
like
he's slower. His Madara would
I've never,
react to it. That's why. Thank you for
I've never
conceding.
seen the
That's
scan
true.
of Tobirama actually sitting off to the side. I know everyone quotes
Yeah,
them,
there
but could
is.
you slide?
There is a scan. There's a
Do you know
scan.
what chapter it's in by any chance?
No, off the top of
I
the head,
actually
man.
don't.
Yeah.
He's just watching in awe. He's watching them like change the landscape.
No,
He's in the
I've heard
corner.
people quote that so many times. I've just never seen it though.
I forgot what chapter it is though.
Uh, but
Probably 600.
yeah,
I don't know.
like you said, with that wouldn't be like an inherent anti-feat for Tobirama. He could just be like, God, that's the full fucking QB. I'm gonna leave this one up to Hashirama because he has fucking Sage Mode and the
Why
1,000
wouldn't
fucking
he aid
army.
him though?
That
If there's
doesn't make
displayed
sense.
relativity, yeah, that's not the most rational assumption. The most rational assumption is if he had the speed that you claim, he would help
What does he
him,
do?
but he didn't because he lacks it. He would use a flying
What does he?
rising and use his arsenal. He could use flying. If he hits Madara directly, it will hurt him. He use flying rising slides. He could use bringer of darkness to blind him
He could
for
teleport
Hashirama to get the
Hashirama.
advantage.
Like
He
he
could
could do so
teleport. He
much
could
with
literally
that.
teleport Hashirama away. He could teleport Madara away. There's a lot of things he could do if he
As
had the speed
opposed to
So
for it,
hiding
which he
behind a
didn't.
tree. You know, it's like,
so
come on.
Yeah, very
like
rational
what
to
is
assume.
it's a majestic attire though? So if that's the case, then like
He just needs to go
why
inside it. That's what the flying rising's for.
how would he get inside of the majestic attire if it's already active? Like how does he get inside the Susanoo once it's already there? It doesn't
Just
make
like how
sense.
in the War Arc, others were in Sasuke Susanoo, same way.
So, but how would Tobirama get inside of it once it's already up?
Okay, well, I think we're getting down like a really niche rabbit hole here. The point is the flying Raijin could be utilized in many abilities or like tactitional advantages. Like maybe like teleporting the Biju bomb away, maybe teleporting Hashirama away from danger. There's so many examples that it could be an asset as opposed to not using it because you're not fast enough, which is what the narrative told us. And that's
wouldn't-
how
Either
he's
way, it didn't start that way anyway. As soon as the fight started, he could have just blitzed him immediately if he's as fast as you claim before the Susanoo even emerged.
I'm not.
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
just claiming I'm just claiming he's some unquantifiable. Excuse me. I had to fucking. Excuse me. He's some unquantifiable amount above Prime Hashirama and Madara. That doesn't mean he's a blitz fucking tier above them. He
Yeah,
perceives
it is
blitz.
because you're claiming that Hashirama couldn't do shit and that Tobirama was the only one that could perceive him. So that's a significant gap. So it's not it's unquantifiable, but it's significant.
yeah. Like,
That's
if
what
you
you're
can't even
claiming.
perceive something, the other one can. That's quite a gap for sure.
Yeah, so my theory still holds. He just couldn't. The reason he didn't intervene prior to the Susanoo anyway, if you want to say he can't get into it, why didn't he couldn't have done it in base, and why didn't he? Because he lacks the speed to do so. That's the most
Well,
rational assumption to come to.
But he does have the intelligence not to fuck around when he knows he has no place in it, and that's just facts,
Yeah, if he's
man.
faster, by
Yeah.
far the best course of action would be to speed blitz and try to one shot or at least heavily damage Madara or do anything for Hashirama to get the advantage. That'd be by far the best course of action if he was as fast as you claim, which he
so
didn't
y'all
do, which
couldn't
negates your
provide
claim.
the Tobirama being like showing up and seeing them, so we don't know. As of right now, we don't know what point he
I mean,
saw
I'm not
them
going to pull
fighting
up
at.
scans right now. It's not that important, but yeah, it did happen. I wouldn't say if it was a lie. I didn't make up a scan. It exists.
I'm not saying that you did, man. But I'm just saying we like as of right now, the scan was not provided, so like I don't actually
I mean,
know at what
people can
point
decide.
that
I
happened.
mean, it exists. It's not a formal debate, but it exists. So my
Which
theory
scan
just holds.
exactly are we referring to?
When
Uh,
Tobirama was watching Madara and Hashirama fight,
Oh,
like when
okay.
their final battle.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. But if you want to be technical and be like, oh, you didn't provide it, so you can't prove it. I mean, that's fine, but it exists.
We're not
So
really
it doesn't
here.
really
Yeah, I
it
mean, it's
doesn't
just
really
a
matter to me.
factor.
I'm not like in a formal debate, but I've proven my theory to be more likely than yours.
uh, okay. So wait, after this, oh yeah. So fuck, what are we talking about? So in my case, I guess we can bring it to an end here. But I guess
Yeah.
this is a formal debate. But I'd like to bring it to my conclusion. I guess you could do yours as well.
Yeah, that's fine. You
So first,
can do that.
like really the only thing the reason why I came on here to talk about in the first place was just to discuss that Tobirama video. I honestly don't remember the second half of it. I wanted to talk about the second half as well, but we only got to the first half. That's okay. I just wanted to talk about how I think that is a circular argument in the case where it starts off with Tobirama's being ass, so he can't scale to Jubito, and then it ends off with Tobirama's ass and doesn't scale to Jubito just based off the Hashirama stuff. I provided a statement for Hashirama claiming that Tobirama is faster than Prime Hashirama and Madara. We've gone over the definitions. Actually, you guys said you already know the definitions. So if that's the case, then we already talked about the feat that was provided, since you wanted to see a feat as well. And the feat of that would be that Hashirama is actually slower than Tobirama in terms of perception. He's not able to react to Jubito. There's no indication that he does react. So then that's at least one feat, and that's at least one statement that would prove that Tobirama is unquantifiably above Hashirama, even as an Edo. And if that's the case, then it just inherently is a circular argument, and that would just mean it starts off with Tobirama being ass, ends with him being ass. So, yeah,
Okay,
you
so
can
I'll
you
get
can
mine
go.
before you go. Yeah. So first of all, I don't think you know what that means. Circular argument. That's not what that is. It's not circular whatsoever. You have
Yeah.
one statement and one claim and one empirical feat, which I negated with a plethora of statements. And well, I should say feats. I didn't really use statements that much. So because Hashirama didn't have an ability to use on Jubito, LOKO claims he didn't perceive him. That's an appeal to ignorance, by the way. And the reason why that's an appeal to ignorance and it doesn't work is because when they are at their best, Hashirama is above Tobirama. Tobirama did perceive him, and it's proven by the fact he put a marking on him. So simply put, Hashirama perceived him, but like Tobirama, he didn't physically react either. Neither one reacted physically. That's the point. So it doesn't matter if he did place a marking or have some sort of ability where he could use if he could perceive you. That doesn't negate the fact that he's above Tobirama and that he perceived. And the most likely assumption is that he did perceive him, which is displayed when they're alive with Hashirama and Madara having superiority over Tobirama. And you try to claim that just because someone's stronger, they're not faster. Usually, if you're able to defeat such shinobi in battle, you usually are faster because you can't defeat someone you're not faster than significantly, or at least to some arbitrary extent. So yeah, that doesn't work either. So simply put, the most rational assumption and the most probable conclusion to that is that Tobirama and Hashirama both perceived him. As far as the Madara statement with the boasting, he's literally talking down upon him. He said he used to boast the best speed, and he could just be referencing Flying Raijin, by the way. So even if you consider that to be hyper literal, he means the Flying Raijin because that's instantaneous speed, which is faster than anyone that we're talking about, by the way. So that didn't negate anything I said either. Or he could just be talking down upon him and just be incorrect because he never knew the limits of himself in comparison to Tobirama either. So simply put, by far the most likely conclusion is that Tobirama is far inferior to Jubito and is inferior to Hashirama in terms of speed. And again, to further reinforce my premise, Hashirama wasn't even using Sage Mode, by the way. So he wasn't at his optimal ability to react. He wasn't even using Sage Mode. He was using his base form as well. So if anything, if he had Sage Mode, this panel could look a lot different. But yeah, so.
And just to accentuate that a little bit, it's the whole bow statement. Again, I have to just reiterate, it's based off the time that Madara last saw Tobirama, which is arguably during the Warring States period with Izuna. Doesn't know exactly how fast or fast he isn't since then, and cannot prove a, prove that like he's faster than Hashirama as a result, who was the ultimate relative counterpart from at the end of the day. Also, with Tobirama's feats being defeated by people like Kin and Gen, kind of reinforces the notion that he isn't on par as someone like Jubito, even unstable mentally. It's happened several occasions. And so again, I remember you saying that there's a statement from Hashirama that says Tobirama is faster than him in Prime Madara.
I think he meant Madara. I think that's what he meant. I don't think he meant Hashirama. I don't think Hashirama ever
Okay.
said that.
Yeah, I was about to say, okay. But yeah, again, Madara's knowledge on the two of them is based off their last engagements. Tobirama is even more questionable, like I said earlier. So, like I said, it's just narratively Hashirama's statements with Jubito being even above himself reinforces the notion that Tobirama isn't even on par as someone like Hashirama. It doesn't matter about overall strength. I mean, to be even stronger than someone requires like more than adequate abilities. It's not just speed. If you're a mouse going up against a tank, it doesn't do anything. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So and there's just multiple like anti-feats of Tobirama's death and demise, Hashirama's statements, the battle of Madara and Hashirama. And then I agree. I think the only reason that like Jubito was hit with tags was because Tobirama at that time had a prep jutsu that could work arbitrarily, and it was something to be utilized at that point in time because Tobirama is a smart guy. Don't get me wrong, like no discredit to him, but I just think as an overall shinobi, he just doesn't cut it.
Yeah,
So
essentially, LOKO's claim is possible, but it's improbable. he's not able to substantiate it. The empirical evidence contradicts what he's saying. The fact that he's able to react to someone that Hashirama admits inferiority to is very unlikely. So, all right. That went for a while though, folks. So we'll try to go to the next person. We just concluded anyway, so we were gonna end it there anyway. So
Yes, sir. Good comment though, man.
shout out
Thank
to
you.
LOKO though for calling in though. Shout out
Yes,
to LOKO,
sir.
man. That was a good topic. Let's see. Who else have we not had in here?
Sir
Get this guy. And he had his hand in the T guy. And then
Okay,
we'll get
cool.
Sir Goats in here. Let's see. Going once, going twice. Going 3 times.
Go forward.
Oh, he put his hand down. Never mind.
He said, never mind, bro.
We get this Sam guy in here. He hasn't
Fuck
been
it,
in here
dude.
yet. These other guys already. Oh, Sir Goats is in here too. We'll get him here after.
Hell yeah. What up,
Shout out
Sam?
to you, LOKO. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yo.